Some places were meant to stay hidden. Some things were never meant to be opened. And sometimes the people who go too far don't come back. These are 3 disturbing true stories of people who ignored the warnings and paid the price. This is Mr. H. You're listening to Masked Horror. The Red Shack, past mile marker 7. They always tell you to stay on the trail. 20 years ago, when I was a junior at Appalachian State, a group of us ignored that advice during spring break. It was supposed to be a casual weekend hike through the Smokies. Just 4 of us. Me, my roommate Corey, his girlfriend Megan, and her best friend Rachel. It was Rachel's idea to take the trip. She was into that granola, wilderness survival lifestyle. She planned the whole thing down to the granola bars. None of us took it super seriously though. We were college kids trying to get away from campus stress, not trained for Everest. And I kinda had a crush on her, so I went along with it. We parked just off Route 64 near a trailhead called Raven's Hollow. The plan was to hike 10 miles in, camp overnight, then loop back the next day. It started out peaceful. Birds, pine, sunlight filtering through the branches. We joked, snapped pictures, even brought a Bluetooth speaker, which was groundbreaking at the time. However, everything changed at mile marker 7. Just past it, we spotted a small wooden sign nailed crookedly to a tree. Faded red letters, barely readable through the moss. Fire watch post, 0.6 miles off trail. Rachel lit up. "Let's check it out," she said. "It's not that far. Probably an old lookout or something. Could be cool." I hesitated. The trail was already thinning out, and this path looked more like a deer trail. Overgrown, damp, wrong. But the group wanted to see it, and I didn't want to be the killjoy, so we went. At first, it felt like any forest path, just a little quieter, a little darker. Then the trees started thinning. That's when we saw it. A red shack. It stood alone in a patch of dead grass, partially sunken into the ground like it was trying to disappear. The paint peeled off in jagged strips. One window was boarded up. The roof looked sloped in. It didn't look like a fire watch post. It looked like a tool shed, or maybe something worse. We approached slowly. Corey tried the door, but it was stuck. Megan circled the back and called out that there was a side entrance. Rachel was the first to go in. I stayed by the door. Inside, the air was heavy and sweet, like wet wood and rot. There was no furniture, just dust, a few empty shelves, and one thing that stopped us all cold. A pair of white sneakers, child-sized, neatly placed side by side, toes facing the wall. Rachel stared at them. "That's weird." Megan looked uneasy. "Why are they turned like that?" Corey pulled out his phone and took a picture. Then Rachel did too. She muttered something like, "Creepy, but kind of artistic." That is when I said we should go, and we did. But Rachel couldn't stop talking about it the rest of the day. At the campsite that night, she kept bringing it up. She even posted the photo online, with some dramatic caption about forgotten places and children lost to time. We teased her for trying to be deep. 3 days later, though, Rachel disappeared. She had driven home after the trip, texted the group chat that night, then nothing. Her parents filed a missing persons report. Her roommate said she never came back to the dorm. They tracked her last location to a gas station off I-40. Security footage showed her pumping gas, alone, looking over her shoulder like someone was watching. Then, nothing. No credit card activity, no phone signal, just gone. We were questioned, of course, multiple times. The park rangers went back to Ravens Hollow. Corey and I went there with them to find the red shack, but it wasn't there. We hiked off trail, retraced our steps. No fire watch sign, no clearing, no shack, nothing. The rangers said maybe we were turned around, but I know what I saw. And here's the part I can't explain. The photo. Rachel posted it online. We all saw it. The shoes, the wall, the weird shadow in the corner we thought was just water damage. But after she vanished, it was gone. Corey couldn't find the one he took either. It had disappeared from his phone, from his cloud storage. Megan said hers had a file error and wouldn't open. It's like the shack took it all back. I didn't sleep for weeks after that. Honestly, maybe she just dropped out of school and went out to Cali as she always said she wanted to do. I don't know. Looking back, we were all young and just trying to figure things out. We all tried to move on. Eventually, people stopped asking about it. Rachel just became another missing face, a lost relationship and connection. But 2 years ago, during a move, I found something. Tucked inside a box of old notebooks was an envelope I don't remember packing. No return address. Inside was a single page torn from a journal, not Rachel's handwriting. Just one sentence, written over and over. She came back, but she didn't come alone. That night, I started dreaming about the shack again, and when I woke up, I could have sworn I saw something at the foot of my bed. Just for a second. White sneakers, small, turned toward the wall. But when I blinked, they were gone. Maybe it was a dream, or maybe not. The fridge in the empty rental. It's been almost a year since Caleb disappeared. There were a few local articles, no national headlines, no trending hashtags, just another story that slipped through the cracks. But I remember it like it happened yesterday, because I was the last person to see him. Caleb and I were into urbex, urban exploration, abandoned houses, forgotten hospitals, condemned schools. Caleb was a risk taker. I was the camera guy. We'd been doing it since high school. That afternoon, he sent me a foreclosure listing in some dead-end town. No photos, just an address and a note about back taxes. Jackpot, I'm going today. I told him not to go alone. He said he wasn't. He was bringing me with him, virtually. He FaceTimed me first, but the signal kept cutting out. We switched to Zoom. I logged in from my laptop at work while he explored. It was about 4:30 p.m. He showed me the outside, boarded windows, overgrown weeds, cracked driveway. Then he slipped through a back door, hanging crooked on one hinge. No squatters, he said. Too clean. The place was gutted. No furniture, no cabinets. Even the doorknobs were missing. Then we saw the kitchen. In the middle of the room stood a white refrigerator, old, dented, completely out of place. It looked like someone dragged it there and left it. Across the front, duct tape. On the top, scrawled in faded black Sharpie, "Do not open." I laughed. That's your cue to leave. Caleb smirked. It's probably a raccoon mummy. He propped his phone on a broken microwave and angled it toward the fridge. I'll open it, but if I puke, you owe me coffee." He started peeling back the tape. The Zoom call went silent. I remember it being too quiet, like the house itself was listening. Then Caleb grabbed the handle and stopped. His expression shifted. The smirk vanished. He opened the door slowly, just a few inches, then backed away like something was inside. He stared, didn't say a word, just stared. Then he walked over, picked up the phone, and the screen went black. I waited, tried calling, texted, nothing. I wanted to drive out that night, but I was on a work trip. I hadn't heard back from him, so when I finally got the chance the next morning, I drove there 2 hours. GPS almost lost signal near the end. The house looked the same, except the back door was shut. His car was parked off to the side, locked, keys on the seat. No Caleb. I called the police. They searched the house, the woods, the surrounding fields. No blood, no signs of struggle, just gone. I told them about the fridge. They asked me to describe it. When we went back into the kitchen, it wasn't there. Not moved, not broken up, just gone. The cops said maybe Caleb wandered off, got lost, but that didn't make any sense. They filed a missing persons report. That was it. But I know what I saw. Right before the call cut out, I saw something in the reflection of the fridge's handle. A shadow, not Caleb's. Too low to the ground. It moved too fast, like something crouched. I didn't tell the cops that part. I already felt crazy. A few weeks later, a country road crew found his phone face down in a ditch 3 miles away. Screen shattered, battery dead, no fingerprints. His parents got it back, but I still have the chat log. The last thing Caleb typed, "Hold on, there's something in here." That's it. He never came back. The listing, gone. Zillow had no record. County record said the address didn't exist. I don't know how that's possible, but it's true. Sometimes I still dream about his face, the moment that fridge opened. It wasn't fear. It was something worse. Recognition. Like he saw something he'd been trying to forget, and whatever it was, remembered him too. The storage unit nobody bid on. This happened to me and my dad back in 2014. We used to hit up weekend storage auctions, like the show Storage Wars, but way less exciting. Usually, we found busted electronics or old holiday stuff. Then we found this one. The unit was in an isolated facility 40 minutes out of town. Ground level roll-ups, maybe 40 total. Most had already been auctioned off, except one. The manager said no one had ever bid on it, not once. The weird part, the owner hadn't missed a payment in almost 3 years, just stopped showing up. The law let them auction it off after 36 months of inactivity. That didn't make any sense to me, but hey, we were in it to win it. We won the unit for $72. Nobody else even raised a hand. The manager shrugged like, "Your funeral." Opening it was off. Nothing was boxed or labeled, just scattered junk. Broken mirrors, torn books, unlabeled VHS tapes. A baby monitor that wasn't plugged in, but hissed static every few minutes. A twin mattress leaned against the wall, big red stains. Dad said it was rust, but I didn't buy it. Behind a dresser was a black metal trunk, padlocked shut. 3 different locks. It was heavy. Dad looked at me and said, "This is either junk or a felony." We hauled everything to our garage and got to work on the trunk. took bolt cutters and a crowbar to crack it open. Inside, layers of duct tape, tarps, and old newspaper clippings. The first article was from 2003. Teen disappears walking home from school. Another, woman missing, car found abandoned. All local, all within an hour's drive. At the bottom, a sealed Ziploc bag. Inside was a bent pair of glasses, speckled with dried blood. Dad didn't say a word, just pulled out his phone and called the police. Deputies came quick, took the trunk, took statements, told us not to talk about it, said it was an active investigation. We figured that was the end of it. But then a few nights later, around 8 p.m., the doorbell rang. There was a man on the porch, mid-50s, baseball cap, windbreaker, no car in the driveway. He smiled, polite but off. Said he was from the storage facility, just following up. I told him we already spoke with the police. He nodded like he expected that. Then he said, "I believe that unit belonged to me." My chest tightened. I told him the police had taken everything. He nodded again, then said, "Well, some things are meant to stay locked up." And then he turned and walked away. No car, just disappeared down the street. I was relieved. The guy was kind of creepy, to be honest. I ran to the window. He was gone. We definitely didn't sleep that night. Filed a report the next morning. Turns out, the storage facility had no other employees. The manager, he quit 2 days after the auction. And the unit's lease, fake name, fake address, burner phone, paid in cash. We never saw the trunk again. No one followed up. No headlines, just silence. Dad stopped going to auctions after that. Said it wasn't worth the bad luck. I tried to forget, but a few years later, I was cleaning out the garage when I found one of the old VHS tapes tucked behind a cabinet. No idea how it got there. We turned everything over, I thought. I should have tossed it, but I didn't. Curiosity won. I popped it into an old VCR in the basement. It loaded slowly. No intro, no static. Just a small concrete room. Bare bulb hanging overhead. Nothing happened for a full minute. Then someone stepped into frame. Just a leg. And then they looked directly into the camera. Even through the grainy footage, I could tell it was the same man who came to our door years ago.